Hello, this is Matt Singer. I'm the arts and culture editor at Willamette Week, and my guest today is Chef Lex Grant. She is a chef with an incredibly long resume that I can't really go into here. It'll eat up too much time, but I think the most relevant thing, particularly for Blazer fans, is that she is the personal chef to Carmelo Anthony. And next month, she is going to be launching a pop-up dinner series here in town so that people who are not elite athletes can uh, sample her cooking.
Yes.
Chef Lex, before we get into the pop-up, I wanted to ask, how did you end up linking up with Carmelo?
I have been his private chef since he was on the Knicks. So we started in New York. I am New Jersey based. That's my home. And we've been just everywhere together. I've been to every city that he's been traded to. And I'm very, very happy to end up here in Portland. This is probably the most beautiful of the places we've been, as well as friendly. The people are nice here. I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, I've just been with him for a long time. And given what I do in being a private chef and, a holistic chef, it made sense to not try to switch that up. And I was open to moving. So it's been an adventure.
So what does that mean exactly, being like an NBA player's personal chef? Like, are you literally cooking like every meal he eats every day during the season, or how does
Yes.
it work?
It is a full service job. I am with him breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Of course, he has the option and the opportunity to eat out whenever he wants and do whatever it is he's going to do. But most of his meals, as well as all of the grocery shopping, all the products in his home, everything that he uses in the whole household, I'm like the baby house manager as well, everywhere we go. All of that's my responsibility.
Wow. Do
Yeah.
you have to like? I guess I'm interested. Like, do you have to uh, like? Do you have to adjust based on kind of like what's going on in his life in terms of what you actually like cook him? Like, if he comes home, if he has a bad game, or the team loses or something, does that affect kind of like what you are serving him? Like how do you think about it in terms of like meal prep for?
Structure of his food.
Yeah.
So for me, no, I do not ego feed. I call it ego feeding because that's when people eat emotionally. And I look at food as his fuel. So, yeah, there are things that he wants and there are things that he craves and really likes and desires. And it is my job to make sure that he has those things and that I make them as healthy as possible, whether it's using the most organic products or if it's something that he loves that's processed, I have to figure out how to make it fresh from scratch.
So, and you cooked in the NBA bubble, is that correct?
Yes, I did.
What was that like? I mean, I imagine that it would present quite a bit of difficulties for people who want to eat so particularly, or for somebody who wants to prepare food in such a particular manner. What was that like for you?
They were
Yeah.
not able to go and get like the things that they would get to comfort them. Like there was no mom's like mac and cheese. There was no soul food. There were a couple Caribbean restaurants that they got a lot of business as well, but all of the other food, it was like I believe like Morton's was one of the places they could order from and Joe's Crab Shack, but that food is only good like once in a while. You can't, they were in lockdown for months.
Mhm.
So I was able to give them like jerk salmon and stewed beef and stewed chicken and just things that were something that their mom would make. And I was making it in a way that their mom would make or their grandma would make or whatever. I was all the herbs and spices I was having shipped into me from Brooklyn. I had sea moss shipped into me from Trinidad. I had Beyond Burger shipping me in stuff. Like everybody was trying to send me what they felt that they would need. And it just worked out so well. It got to a point where I felt like very guilty when it was time for me to leave. These guys were texting me like, so this is really your last day. So what you gonna do? I'm gonna go back to work.
So prior to arriving in Portland, did you know much about Portland, at least as like a food city? What did you know about
Absolutely.
the
So
city kind of like over there?
I knew Portland was a foodie city. I knew that James Beard, like I had the opportunity to cook at the James Beard house with a friend of mine from Jersey, and we cooked Caribbean food. So from then I was like on my research, and I'm aware like a lot of new up and coming chefs come here to plant their roots. I mean, I felt this whole time being from New York that that was going to be my like, I mean, I'm from Jersey, but when you're from Jersey, you're also from New York. It doesn't matter. Um, I'm like, this is going to be it. I'm going to be this chef. Everyone's going to know me. That is not the case in New York City at all. There's so many chefs. There's so many people doing things that you just get washed out. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You can be saving the world, and New Yorkers will not notice you, and they don't care. So being here, I feel this is a major, major opportunity for me and for my career, because the respect for the culinary world is still very much alive here.
So that transitions into me asking about your pop-up. So
Okay.
what can people expect from this?
Ooh, people can expect a an authentic Caribbean vibe. Um, for me and my family, food has always been the one thing, the one common denominator. It doesn't matter if World War III was happening in our house. We gathered to eat together. We never missed a meal together. My grandmother was always making sure that we were eating traditional food, especially being in America. You kind of lose your culture. So always something traditional, always little tasty snacks, always. I used to hate it growing up, and I'm so grateful to her now. I would be chilling, watching my Nickelodeon. All I hear is, "Come, no, come help me in the kitchen." No, I don't wanna. But it was because she was making every single thing from scratch. I feel like when she wasn't at work, she's a nurse, she was cooking something, and all of us, her grandkids, were just her little helpers, and I'm the oldest, so it was always me. But my grandmother is still with me. Thank you, God. It is such a blessing that she's here and she's healthy. And I want to give her her flowers while she is still here and able to see them and experiencing them. We have been actively writing a cookbook together. So a lot of these recipes that I am going to be putting out to share with everyone is also going into a cookbook. Please God, we have to make our deadline so that it could be out by Mother's Day. But it is a family effort. Even my pop-up now, although all my family is not here, my mom and her husband, they have a reggae band. They're curating all the music for me so that I could, when you come up to pick up your food, you will be hearing all types of roots rock reggae. I have different incense that I'll be burning all along the pathway walking up to River Pig so that you catch the vibe, some of the smells and essences of Jamaica. There will be some very traditional drinks that you can't really get out here, like sorrel and ginger beer and Irish moss, that I will be selling for you guys to take home. There'll be sea moss in jars, and then the menu is going to change weekly. So we've planned now for the month of February, but I can really feel it's going to hit, and I think this is something that I will continue on through the basketball season.
Well, before I let you go, I feel like I have to ask, and maybe there is a chef client confidentiality here, but
Okay.
what is Mello's favorite dish that you make? Like
Cat,
what
catfish and grits.
really?
Yeah.
That, that makes sense to me.
Catfish and grits. He loves it. It's a treat. It's something that I know when I make it for him, he's like, "Oh, I must have did something good to deserve this because it's so fatty."
Oh wow.
But he really does like catfish and grits. I mean, obviously he likes wine and cheese boards and all this other very fancy stuff. But like when I know it's rough, things have been rough, like when he just comes back from a long on the road, like when they come back from that long trip in February, something along those lines, catfish and grits, shrimp and grits, that's gonna be what I make him when he comes back because it makes him feel like at home.